Blessing.
Blessings. And what color is that card? Yellow?
That's yellow.
All right, so blessings. And that blessings, the yellow is where this yellow is right here, the solar plexus. If we look at the chakras from the Sanskrit energy wheels that come up the body, this is saying you need to focus in that mental energy tonight. If your mind's always busy, right? We often feel tight right here under the heart. It's where the ego lives. It's where we preoccupy and get looped, right? So we stay below the heart. We're trying to bust that heart open tonight. So to be in gratitude, to be aware of what I'm so blessed with. So that could be your intention if that resonates with you this evening. So you're all about blessings. You're about divinely connecting, right? That's that crown and that third eye. For you, you're protected and to work on faith. Again, like cracking open the heart and that crown, remembering to bring in that energy from above. Yours, again, root chakra.
I attract
Partnerships. So it's about connection for all of us. So this applies to all of us, even though it's individual. Sure. We're working on this collectively. So partnerships, union, right? How we connect. If I connect within, and I learn to tap that more deeply, access my resources, understand my energy, which this is what this is all about, I'm better able to use that as a gauge for my interaction, right? And be a co-regulator with people and attract everything I want in partnership, business, personal. For you, you're a lighthouse, and yours is blue, that throat chakra. So speaking our truth, expressing from the throat. Jules?
Mine was I attract sweetness.
I attract sweetness. Did you come up with how that resonates? You don't have to say, but if...
It's just kind of like law of attraction, like feeling more positive and then getting positive back.
So to you it meant if I give sweetness, I receive sweetness?
More to myself though, not like a given to you.
Being kind and sweet to the self.
Yeah.
The nectar within, which when we meditate deeply, if you does anybody understand the internal nectar of the mouth? When you really meditate, when you do Kriya Yoga with the breath, it gives this taste in the mouth. That's a sweetness of God. And that's what we're really all looking for, that peace within, right? Faith with the self first, so I can cultivate that outer divine connection, right? Sweetness rooted in but you're red, and yours was yellow.
I'm
alive. That's also like the blessings, but in that mental space. So everybody knows where they are, right? Color is the chakra that we want to pay attention to tonight. Your solar plexus, right? We know where we are. Vibration is what this is all about. Well, as we work today, because you have never done TRE, you did it.
No.
You never did it.
No.
So we're going to give you the expedited class tonight. We're going to work through the exercises quickly. And as a runner, as an athlete, you're probably going to shake pretty quickly without much focus on exercises. The only thing that prevents us from shaking is when we're so tight in the mind and we're so shallow in the breath that we don't allow, we don't surrender. So when we surrender in a safe, controlled atmosphere, our body is able to trigger the natural stress response, the shaking that occurs when we are scared or when we are in a situation where we have to run, right, or fight. So in the safe environment, we're going to activate this gentle tremor that's going to start in your legs, and it's going to travel as we give it permission and surrender and breathe, and I'll guide you through it. And it's going to come into the central nervous system, up the spine. And that happens when we start with our feet are together, and this is important. These chakras in our feet, they're so powerful, as are our hands. So this is like an electrical loop. So we close the loop with our feet. We feel that energy. I'll guide you a little bit through it. And as we raise our knees, we hit these little sweet spots of resonance, of just contraction. It's the rhythm, right? And as that happens, and we rise, and we create more heat and more electricity within the body, that vibration just exaggerates itself and takes on a life of its own. So the mind is completely out of this picture. And the beauty of it is, And it's just today I had this realization. I mean, but the mouth of God, right, when we come in and the light enters, it's through right here, the medulla, the nape of the neck. So when we're born, all the light comes in the medulla. And when we meditate and we look up and through the third eye, and we see, if we're lucky enough, to see the star and the light, it's the reflection from the mouth of God. From the medulla, it's that reflection, and that's where you see the light, to go deeply within. But the medulla, interestingly, is where trauma lodges itself. So when we experience something that happens physically, emotionally, mentally, and it could be past life stuff, what we bring in energetically, ancestrally, it's patterned in our being in such a way, and it lodges itself in the reptilian part of the brain, in the animal part of the brain that controls respiration, heart rate. It's all the unconscious, autonomic workings of the body, right? So what happens is we can't access that through talk therapy. So if we get in a counseling relationship and I'm like, so tell me about your trauma, I'm going to re-traumatize you. And I'm going to get you all contracted, and you don't know how you're feeling or what you're feeling. It's something that is out of our awareness. So TRE not only is it a great way to purge yourself energetically, to recover for athletics and to rebound and be more resilient and flexible, but it literally shakes from our fascia, from our tissues, and from our spine. It's all the karmic knots, all the energy that stays knotted from our whole lineage. We free it. We free it from the body, and we make space. So it drops from the base of the brain in a way that makes space to let flow come up, and we access now the midbrain, where our memories, our hippocampus is, and our frontal cortex, right? Our executive functioning, which makes us be connected, engaged socially, and online, so that we can think. And now we can use this mind of ours. We can use it creatively. We can use it as a cooperative component of realizing whatever it is we want to manifest. And so we're trying to access, through shaking everything out, that neutral awareness. So we're going to awaken sensation in the body, some of this stuff we haven't witnessed or seen ever, and emotions. Some of us were taught it's not nice to be angry. So you go through life thinking, I'm not angry about anything. I'm not angry, until you start doing this work and somebody says the simplest thing to you, and you're like, what the heck? And you project it at them, but it's really igniting what's alive in you, the anger. So that's the next level of this work, all right? So, any questions before we start this process?
I'll tell you,
Okay.
I'm having a lot of weird medical stuff. Like I'm getting
Flashes
I was in the
of light.
hospital yesterday.
Don't even say light.
Light flashes.
That's what we've been talking
But
about.
I'm getting pins and needles and light flashes, and they don't know what it is. So.
Well, you know why they don't know what it is? Because before you can assume that it's bad, tell me what your intuition tells you. What do you think is going on? Before you go thinking, something's wrong with me.
Oh, I do think something's wrong.
See, and that's why, this is why we're here. When you get grounded and centered, like tonight, I want you to revisit that question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to feed you an answer, but I want you to sit and settle in. And and what was your thing again?
I'm not dead yet. I'm still alive.
I'm alive.
Yes.
So what are we? Our body is electric.
Mm-hmm.
Our body is electric, right? Our brain is chemical. The electric body is full of what? We're 80% what? Water, right? So that's why sound comes in and literally liquefies and changes our DNA, right? And the energy that we are awakening in the body, that's traveling to create flow to go into the brain, right? To change our neural pathways. And it happens in 20 minutes. So the electric body, what other than water, and sound is conducted through our bones and water, hello, what else are we? We've been talking about it all night tonight. Light, right? So just keep in mind, right now, we are at an all-time high of the light and the influx of energies coming to Earth. So I'll send you more about this, but who's ever heard of the Schumann resonance? Schumann, right? 7.83 hertz. It's the heartbeat of the earth. So right now, in the galaxy, in the electromagnetic field, there's something called solar winds. The solar winds send out this hot flare of fire. That fire hits the earth. When it hits the earth, it affects the frequency of earth. So what that's doing is changing our connection of the influx of energy that's coming in. Like when I talk right now, right, I'm throwing out a wave, and that's hitting you. It's either resonating, and you're like with me, or it's not. You're like, shut the hell up, I'm bored. Like whatever you're thinking, where are we in resonance? Well, the earth is shaking us up so much right now. It's creating high anxiety. It's creating depression. It's creating all kinds of light shows for people. Seeing light, feeling, it's awakening Kundalini energy. And it's a good thing. And the awakening occurs when there's a readiness within each of us. We come in and each of us is supposed to awaken in a certain capacity at a certain time. So what could be happening? You're getting it where? Where's your light flash? You're seeing it.
Pins and needles all over my body and flashes of light. And then it looks like a flock of birds is flying over me all the time. I got like a weird visual thing.
And do you get a feeling in your body, a sensation?
Well, it's starting to get on my nerves.
Because you're worried about it. It's the meaning you're giving it is making you anxious. No different than stress, right? Stress is so good for us. It pushes us to achieve. It pushes us to the next threshold. It pushes us to become our highest best, as long as it's right, in terms of we're at a real grounded place of really understanding what is it that I want, and it's coming from my heart, not because my father told me I have to do it or society's telling me I have to do it. But your response to stress is going to create a healthy relationship or not. So I'm doing this work because I always thought I was sick and dying, and I was a victim, and who's going to help me? And I get myself worked up in panic attacks. But once you find that ease, right, that centered sense of, I'm okay. And now you can kind of inquire into pain and sensation and what's arising. Because it's nothing other than something that's natural. The person that could control it and heal it and help it is you. But we go to these external people thinking they're going to give us the answer. So let's just think about that right now. That's why we're doing self-regulation. That's what this is about.